Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys have discovered the home system, the long lost home system of the Erline, and they've discovered some bizarre features. For one, obviously the elephant in the room is that the original Citadel Prime is here, and it has a bunch of drones that are going out in the asteroid belt, and they are doing massive mining operations. It also has a shipyard. It is building another citadel, and but they note that it's really not doing it in the most efficient manner, and so these citadels are essentially built out of hollowed out asteroids, and it's taking, it could take decades for it to build a asteroid ship that the travelers themselves, even if they were to do it now, if they were to makeshift it, and pulling out their DeWalt power tools and 3D printers, it wouldn't take them nearly as long as the Citadel. But the thing to keep in mind is that the Citadel wasn't really designed to do that, and so it is self-replicating. It has come up with its own policies and procedures of what it's supposed to be doing, and it's kind of making things up as it goes. The other things that they've noticed an oddly rotating, elongated asteroid in the asteroid field that is rotating at a pretty much a constant state that would supply it with zero point 0.9 g gravity, or at least the facsimile thereof of gravity. And then they have discovered that there was a former colony on the moon of the large gas giant, and they have also found what appears to be the original homeworld of the Erline that is highly tectonically active. There are major volcanoes constantly going off, but the entire surface has been just destroyed due to asteroid impact. And so these guys have gone to the colony of the fourth planet, the gas giant, and are checking out the colony on the moon, and they have just arrived. But before we get started, we would like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. Tonight, we'd like to thank Easy Roller Dice. Easy Roller Dice makes, of course, dice and pretty much everything that you might think of that is dice related, such as dice trays, towers, bags, all sorts of dice accoutrements. And I will say that out of my collection of dice, I anymore I almost only ever use the Easy Roller dice. I like their translucent dice. They are the best balanced dice in my entire bag, full of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dice. They are the most well balanced. They roll well. I know that when I drop one of their dice, I am going to get a truly random number every time. Some of the other ones, and I'm looking at you, ChessX. I've got several ChessX dice, and for instance, I purchased 2 sets of the same color of ChessX dice, and the 2 D20s, I can roll them, and within 3 rolls, I can tell which D20 is which because of how they're rolling. One actually rolls like really low. It hits more often than not. It's going to hit 8 or less, and the other one seems to roll exceedingly high. It's always 15 or higher, and so within 3 rolls, I can tell you which of the dice is from which set, even though they are identical. I don't have that problem with the Easy Rollers, and it was those ChessX dice that are why I switched to translucent dice, because you can hold them up to the light and you can see where the flaws are. So they're the quality control for translucent dice generally has to be a lot higher, which is why you don't see as many of them anymore, because these Chinese dice companies just want to shit out garbage, and they're not going to let you see it. so they make them opaque. But Easy Roller always has some kind of sale going on. Usually they have a 10% off on something. So I recommend checking out Easy Roller Dice's website and going through, and usually it's the first thing that'll pop up. They've got some kind of sale going on, and it will be 10% off of dice trays or 10% off of stone dice or whatever. They have multiple types of dice. They even have the new ridiculously dumb ones that are filled with their liquid cores. So if you want to guarantee a dice that's not going to roll evenly, get yourself a liquid core dice, because dice aren't meant to actually work properly, right?
Do they watch us here?
Easy Roller?
Yeah. Representative, anything
probably
like that?
I believe that one or two people that work there actually do.
Well, I just wanted to point out that I've never seen anybody or any company ever make a dice tower that had a built-in camera that would show the result of the roll thing, so you could plug that in and play fucking online and show your rolls while you're playing online.
That is a damn good idea.
And if you say they're all things dice related, well, I'm like, well, then that make me that motherfucker. I want it so it's fucking USB. I can just plug it in, and it has easy drivers and all that shit for Windows or whatever, and I can just drop the die in the tower, and
everybody would see it
and everybody can see my roll and all that, and that. You're not a dice master until you have that and leather jackets and ashtrays, because every dice play is plenty of the motherfucker, and so they got to say fuck a lot.
Yeah. I do know that hello to everybody watching from Mongoose. Mongoose Publishing does watch our game. I've been told on a number of occasions that a lot of times they will be in their office either on I guess it would be Saturday morning. Well, it would be our Saturday morning. So, but they usually, that's the first thing that they fire up, either over the weekend or on Monday when they offices are actually fully open, and they sit around and listen to our bullshit while they our shenanigans.
Yeah, we've got some fans.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah. We have electric ones and handheld paper ones.
Tens and tens of fans.
Yeah.
So yes, check out Easy Roller Dice. We also have a merch store via Zazzle, where we've got T-shirts and buttons and hoodies and whiskey rocks glass and a beer stein and just a bunch of odds and ends and things. And the 100% of the proceeds from that store goes back into the channel, and that helps us pay for all the little nitpicky things like the Roll20 Pro subscription, the Incarnate subscription, all of that stuff that we use that makes it all kind of work. And so, if you want to help us out, go get yourself a T-shirt and a button, and we appreciate everything you do for us. All right, so. You guys are in your hostile environment suits, right? I believe.
That's correct. We were all suited and booted in hazard.
Yep, and you grabbed your gear. Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Climbing out of this rather large crater that you've landed the ship in, the planet is exceedingly cold. Let's see here. I think it actually told me.
Do you think they eat cats and dogs here?
It's not Ohio. I mean, come on. Here it is. I guess it doesn't tell me. Anyways, it is cold. There is liquid water here. That it looks like this is a combination cracking system and pump, so it's pumping the water out, and you can see that it is cold enough that the water, it's not entirely frozen, but it is a Slurpee like slurry that that is that makes up the water here, and the ground, of course, is covered in um, ice and snow, and so there is a thin atmosphere here, but it is definitely cold. So I would not call this a shirt sleeves environment. Um,
And I don't recall, did we see like lights or anything anywhere to kind of let us know if things are powered up and running, or is this place just desolate?
You haven't seen any lights or anything, but as you approach, you do note that this fuel system that's cracking water is operating.
Well, if it's cracking water, that's
You may do a live sense.
um you can, I can.
Why don't I do it? That way you don't have to worry about being down any points.
Yeah, because I like to do big shit with my brain.
That's funny.
I mean, this is all brain power.
So yeah,
it was only a DC4, so
yeah,
no problems.
So for 30 seconds, you kind of reach out, and I mean, that's what 5,000
5 miles,
5,000
kilometers. Yeah.
So
it's got a wide range.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. You probably know everything on this map. I always have to look at this. So you do detect I have to look at those. You do detect some life. You're not detecting anything that would be considered sentient, though. And the bulk of the life that you're detecting is exceptionally weak.
So like animal, plant life, that type of thing.
Right.
But not real advanced animals. It's not gonna be a rhinoceros around the corner or anything like that.
Could be the fungus.
The fungus, I don't know. Did it detect us that way? It seemed like it detected differently.
Yeah, the fungus is another weird one. And it really, there are some delineating factors about the fungus on how it's going to be detected. So,
so we don't he wouldn't believe that he's detecting a fungus life form. The fungus.
No. It's not like any detection of the fungus that you have done, that you have picked up before.
And these tree-looking things that are kind of scattered about, they're just
you don't
old and dried up. That doesn't.
You don't actually see those yet. That's inside the wall. You're outside.
Oh, so we got to go in. Okay.
Yeah, and there is a door over here. It's the only entrance that you're finding into this colony.
It's just hard to get to with the water there. Is there a way to transverse this area here without a problem?
Yeah, you can climb over this piping.
Okay. Then I guess let's go to the door unless there's an objection. We kind of slow played to give Sarda a chance for this because this was all this precautionary and being cautious is really more of his bag.
I don't like shooting things as much as everybody else, but that's okay. There doesn't seem like there's a lot to be shot on this planet.
But we've got guns just in case, buddy.
Right? Yes. So yes, this is a not. I mean, it is an airlock. It is a sealed door, and you are seeing that there is, and you've seen these before. It looks very similar to the Erline design of electronics and doors that you've seen on Erline ships, and I think you went to one of the Erline home. Yeah, you were on one of their colonies. So yeah, you've seen very similar tech designs, and it's a fairly simple system. It does not appear that the door is locked.
Well, then we need to. This is real low pressure out here, and if this place is really pressurized and malfunctions, perhaps we should position ourselves to not get blown if something goes wrong on this old and equipment.
Sounds good. So let's not stand right in front of the door and then try to open it.
Okay.
Turn to the side a little bit. Well, I mean, that's the science, right? It's all built up pressure in there, and if it pops, it has a violent release.
So you hit the release, and the door opens, and there's this smoke, kind of the air as it escapes the airlock immediately turns into a smoky vapor because of the cold weather. So your suits are registering that it is warm inside, but they are also registering that it is a breathable atmosphere inside, but it seems like it's a bit stale.
I would suggest that they had that problem with the breather, their air circulation units at that last place. Remember?
But we don't know how long this has been abandoned, right?
I hear you. Well, I'm just saying the same flaws. Yeah, same flaws might be in the same technology lines. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just keep our suits on and.
Yeah.
No way I'm taking my suit off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we're going in.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So at the other end, there is a much larger kind of like industrial type security door that is shut. It is also not showing that it is locked, but you do note that it seems to be a much much heavier door than the outer door. Opening.
I guess we're going to close the outside door once mail comes in, and before we open this other one.
Okay. So
am I not coming in?
Yeah, you're in now. So so everybody roll a Recon Plus intellect check.
Here we go with your dice rolls. Okay.
Mel got it.
11.
Nice. Josephus got it. And Pappy just got it. So, Pappy, Mel, and Bocephus, you note that there's a console here on the southwestern wall, and it's essentially giving a it is in ancient Erline. So it is a bit difficult for you to read. Like it's not it has a lot of similarities with modern Erline language, but there's a lot that's different too. I mean, it's just a reality that if we were able to go back in time, and if we went back to medieval England, people would be talking. We would have no fucking idea what it was they were talking about. We're like, what are you? What does that even mean? We would recognize a lot of the words, but how they are using them would be completely weird, foreign to us.
Everything about life would be foreign to us.
Yes, that much is true too. And so,
but if we fucked around and made a gun, we could teach the English how to speak English properly.
right?
Like
Yes.
America. Yeah.
Yes. And so this is giving off information. Obviously, it is it's atmosphere data internal to the colony, as well as telling you what the quality of the air is, temperature, things of that nature. If
we attempt to manipulate it,
yeah, if you want to make a engineering, I guess that would be life support plus intellect or education, you can do that.
Oh, that's not my bag at all. Do we have life support
for me?
Yeah. Do we not have an engineer? You're muted, Sarda.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Knowledgeable, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got high education, so.
Yeah, he can do all that shit.
I mean, even if he's got engineering at 0, he still has a +3 to it, so.
I have engineering, which gives me a +1, so yeah, it's definitely not me.
What was the
I've never driven
specialty,
a
or was
train.
it just a straight engineer role?
It would be engineering, life support, plus intellect or
don't-
education.
Don't got that, but
But if you're trained in engineering, if you're trained at all in engineering, then all engineerings are 0.
Right.
Yeah.
So a 9. So yeah, you are. So Mel looks over this readout, and you know that some of the atmospheric processors are essentially kind of they are in need of maintenance. Essentially, the CO2 scrubbers are shot, filters are shot, but they are working at a minimal capacity.
Well, I mean, if we're not talking about staying here, why would we worry about that? But yet, the people that are, the Erlines, as they come in this area, might want this place.
True.
At least to establish. I mean, if all the Erlines are dead and then they just have these automated systems going off, and we have this friend computer type thing going on, after we beat that, we could probably do another retrofit on the Deepnight Revelation if we could get those shipyards and use those. It sounds like they're big enough to do another retrofit while we're out here.
So the other thing that this console is telling you is that it's essentially telling you the last time. There's a log of the last time that the outer doors were opened, and it's showing that up until you have arrived, the only time that the doors were opened prior to that is like 300 years ago. Or whatever timekeeping the Erline use. It's about 300 years.
Well, that means we're probably not going to be killing anybody.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody to kill here.
No, I don't. I'm just talking shit. I'm not. That's Mel. Mel is the bloodthirsty.
Maybe robots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
or ghosts. Yeah. I mean, maybe a vampire or something.
Let's see if we can't get more into this facility.
Okay, so Sarda opens the inner door, and in this room, you see that it looks like it is. This looks like it is like a command and control. There is a door that leads up to the north. There is a a large a large air processing unit here, and there are a number of consoles on the walls with a number of screens, and they are all showing different amounts of data.
All right. Can we make heads or tails of it?
Most of the data that you're seeing is essentially just, it's essentially going through very similar to what you found in the airlock. Essentially telling you, essentially the status of the colony. And go ahead and make in this case, make an investigate plus. You can your choice. You can either make an investigate plus intellect check or a electronics computers plus education or intellect.
I will definitely go a computer route.
That's what I went. I got a 9.
Okay.
10.
So you both find different pieces of information. So, Sarda, on your 10, you start picking up colony logs.
Nice.
Essentially, what looks like is that this was the only other colony aside from the homeworld, and this does confirm that the tectonically active world was the homeworld according to their maps. This was the only colony that the other colony that the Erline had in system, and it talks about that they had colonies elsewhere, but this was the only other colony that they had in system. And essentially, this colony was a kind of a proof of concept for it was the original jumping off point that led to the other colonies. It looks like this one probably started before the Erline actually had jump travel, and so this was then used as proof that, well, we already know that we can set up a colony on another world, and now that we have jump travel, we can go to other star systems and create colonies there. It is noted, though, like about 300 years ago, that so it essentially goes through the story that that there was one of the colony ships. There was an out of system asteroid or cometary object, something that came into the Erline home system, and this colony sent a ship to go investigate it. And their orders were to go and investigate the asteroid, take samples, and rather than bring it back to the colony, they were to go back directly to the homeworld. And they did that, and then it is shown that there was an infectious outbreak on the world.
Oh, it's been happening. The fucking shit's happening.
And this is what led Citadel Prime to make the decision to rain asteroids from the asteroid belt. It basically had endless ammunition down on the homeworld for 40 years.
With the Dridax route.
Yeah. Yep. They just had a 4-decade-long rain of asteroids that essentially cleansed the surface. And the logic was, Citadel Prime's duty was to protect the Erline people at all costs. And its logic in this was, well, we have colonies elsewhere, so we don't want this infection getting off of this world and infecting the other colonies, so in order to protect the Erline as a species, I'm going to have to just eradicate the homeworld. And that's what it did. But about 300 years ago, evidently there were some survivors. And obviously the homeworld was not a very livable place anymore. And so after a 2-year quarantine, the Citadel Prime moved those colonists here to this colony, and or I'm sorry, moved the Erline from the homeworld that survived. They moved them here to the colony, and that it kind of made an overpopulation problem that kind of stressed the colony's resources, but not to the breaking point. But they had to make some serious rationing and cuts. But about 300 years ago, Citadel Prime came to a new decision that it basically witnessed that the Erline people at the colony were not thriving. Some of them were dying of various diseases, all easily treatable, but they were dying anyways. And it was there were some suicides, inexplicable things, and it was decided that maybe the colony wasn't such a great place, and so it forcibly moved the population of the colony to a asteroid habitat in the asteroid belt, where it is. I mean, it just kind of ends there, but it can be assumed that they're there today.
So I'm not fully immersed. When did this black ooze first show up outside of here? This isn't where it originated, correct?
No, but the fungus among us, or whatever it is that is that infected the homeworld, arrived about 3,000 years ago.
3,000, not
Yes.
100.
Right.
Yeah. And so they battled it for a long, long time before they gave up. God, we're kind of obligated now, I think, to go in and we need to find out where their other colonies are and make sure that they didn't get affected from here, because they could have the entity.
So the
Right.
So the other part of these logs is basically stating that it forcibly moved the people from this colony to the asteroid habitat, and it shows you that consistently spinning asteroid that you found in the asteroid belt is the habitat. And the other thing that it states is that the Citadel Prime then started to, as you said, to think about the other colonies. And obviously Citadel Prime itself cannot be everywhere at once. And so its plan was then to make more of itself and use the Citadels don't themselves have any kind of jump drive. They are all flying at subluminal light, or subluminal speeds. And so basically it is using gravity slingshots to pick up speed to exit a system, and these Citadels just go out. The records show that in the last or up to the point where everybody had left this colony, that the Citadel Prime had built 100 more Citadels that it had sent out. Now, Bocephus, you kind of go through the systems, and you're not seeing anything inherently bad with the with their air filtration systems or anything like that. They're just old and in need of maintenance. Aside from that, you're not seeing that there's any flaws. But the things that you are seeing is that you are able to pick up a map of the base, and there were two hydroponics bays, and they were basically growing vegetation from the homeworld here, and that's essentially how they were feeding the colony. And both of those are in the red line critical.
Now, we know that the fungus will do anything it can to try to get off of the planet and keep spreading. I mean, if they got hit with the fungus on the home world, I think everything in this system is probably kind of tainted.
I mean, I think if it was, then the Citadel would have wrecked whatever else it had, because the Citadel has no problem destroying all if it thinks there's any chance of it being there. So
if there's small samples, they would help you guys with whatever you're developing, right?
Well, you guys have Bocephus was part of that team, but you have developed a a stage 2 vaccine, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I've got a concentrated agent of the anti-mold agent. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it is. It's not something that we talk about very often, but it is rather important that we touch base on this because, I believe that you guys all got knocked with it too, didn't you?
Yeah, we're supposed to get bonuses on our checks,
right,
to get infected,
right?
Because of
but if this thing's traveled to here, it might be a slightly different variant. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so
it could. I definitely want to try to check it out. Versus, I mean, I've got an awful lot of that shit. I mean, more records the better. But I definitely want to find out if it was here, because if it was here on this little thing, we need to eradicate it. It all must die. I mean,
right.
that's the prime mission there. And to find out if we can find another species to breed with successfully, be great.
I've been working on it.
I know, man. Well, I've tried too on a couple of planets as we went through this island system and everything. I fucked a lot of aliens, just to see what would happen there. But I didn't stick around long enough, and I don't know what kind of gestation period you have when like when you fuck a squid or something. I just don't know. It could be like 3 or 4 weeks, or it can be like 90 days, or years even. I mean, we'll never know. We won't know till we come back through.
Right.
What kind of things we find,
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you guys have
I did help
have,
one species. Yeah.
You have definitely had a major impact on a number of species throughout here.
Yeah. We got the videos that we hand out everybody.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying interacting.
We need to do a scan to see if we can find any mold particles or something here in this general area, maybe.
I say we scan thoroughly as we move along.
Yeah.
And we've got those little handheld scanners and shit that, I mean, right? And even out of the med kits.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would have access to hand scanners. hold on. One thing at a time.
Oh, I was just doing, banter with my crewmates while you.
Right. Yeah. No. You would have. You would have. You would have hand scanners, and I can give you the stats on that. So one of the. I will say this: the layout of this campaign, I don't think was done very well. So they have the campaign book and they have the referee's book, and yet not everything is in there. Not everything are in those two books, and one of the things that is missing. Oh, wait a minute. So, like the vaccine, it may not be in this one. It was actually in one of the adventures.
Oh, good luck with that shit.
Right. So I don't think that it was in Deepnight Endeavor, but
Well, like
I
from,
bet it
from my
was.
notes,
I know where it's at. I know.
from my notes, it says that if somebody has been infected, I can hit them with an anti-mold agent, and if they make a 10 on their endurance check, they
Right.
fight it off.
Yes.
And a concentrated will actually give them 3D damage if I spray it on a mold. So
right. I remember that you got the. It was the second stage.
Yeah.
Of the cure.
And I got sidetracked.
I guess cure isn't really the right word, but at least gives you a chance.
Well, what I'm curious about is, like, there's these combat drugs, right? And don't they give you endurance bonuses?
I believe they might, yeah. So yeah, this is a counter agent. And it says so it inflicts 3D damage, ignoring armor. To whoever. So if somebody's infected and you inject them with this, it's going to deal 3D damage. And the reason for that is the way the Deepnight entity's fungus is now spreading out and overtaking systems in the body. And so essentially you're killing it, and that is dealing damage directly to the person because that all of that is infected. But it says that in 2D hours, average 8 plus. So you have the concentrated counter agent has been created.
That's correct.
Yes. It deals 3D damage, and once compounds are available, the effect is if the effect is negative, the batch is spoiled. And it says you get a +2 to check to resist the infection.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I probably need to work more on that when I get back to the big ship. But I've still got a. I've got a Zoe.
So it's a +2 to medic checks, and it's a difficult 10+ check to treat if somebody's infected. But since you have already been inoculated with it, you get a +2 to your endurance check to resisting it. Like right off the top.
Yeah.
So you may not even be infected at all because of that.
Yeah.
So that is the benefit of the second level of counteragent that you've created. But anyways, and so so Bocephus is going through, and you see that these hydroponic gardens are essentially redlined. You're not expecting to find much alive in there. In fact, they're reading that the water levels are critically low.
I guess we
This
should
place
go
that
into.
generates water nonstop.
Well, they don't necessarily have to generate it. They can just pipe it in, I would think, and maybe filter it.
Yeah, but it's showing that the water levels in here are critically low. The other thing that it's reading is that the acidity levels of the soil seems to be very high.
Is it like they purposely altered the soil to make it less done for the fungus? Possibly. We've seen people try that before.
Possibly. Yeah, because when you were on Candling Station way back, you noted that some of the reasons why you were able to create this level 2 bioage, or this level 2 vaccine, is because you found that there were elements in the soil of the planet that Candling Station was on that were killing off or inhibiting the growth of the entity. So you would have access to these.
Oh, I've got doses of them made up.
No, I'm talking. You were asking about scanners. These are, you would have access to bioscanners.
Yeah.
And those are TL15 items, but you would definitely have access to them. Oh, come on. There we go. So these things are basically look like a small, I guess, kind of like a pistol type shape. And they will essentially sniff organic molecules and test chemical samples, giving you an analysis readout kind of thing.
Okay. Well, does somebody want to scan around and see if there's any traces of the fucking thing before we go of the entity or its spores before we head further into the compound?
Sure. That's not a terrible idea.
Yep, I can do so. Electronic sensors.
Yeah, it'd be electronic sensors plus intellect or education.
Sure. Oop, rolled poorly.
9 is still good.
Yeah.
So
Not for Sarda.
I've got a +5, so.
yeah, that's true. Yes, it still works. So it doesn't say what the range on this would be. I wouldn't think that it would be very long though.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
But you're not detecting any traces of you're not detecting any traces of the Deepnight entity in this room, and you're kind of scanning all over the place. But from this door, you are detecting something else. You're detecting high levels or high acidity, and you are detecting like the you're detecting the offput of something from a single-celled organism.
Okay.
It's not something that you've run into before.
I'll let everybody know what I'm seeing.
Like, is it a big single cell organism?
You don't know. It has a lot of traits that you would assume for different types of amoebas. But the bioscanner's reading that this new life form detected.
Okay. Well, it's a new life form. We should be careful, I guess, whatever it is.
Yeah. Thank God we don't have prime directives, right?
Yes, it's more like Stargate. Your gods are false. Here, have these guns.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll come over here and open the fucking door.
Okay. So you open the door, and it is it's cold in here. You know that this is the entry to one of the habitat. Or not only were these used for growing food, but they are also living spaces for the Erline. It is cold. Nobody would want to be living in here. In fact, there is some frost on the ground in here. You're not seeing any. I mean, just looking through the door, you can see that there's like a dead tree or something here. You're not sure if it looks like a tree. Could have been just a large bush at one time. You don't know, but you're not seeing anything that's green for sure. In fact, you're not seeing anything with color other than brown or gray or white.
If the entity were active here, it would eat the organic matter. It's been doing. That's what it does.
Right.
It eats. It reproduces and grows and as it continues to absorb and grow, it becomes more advanced in its bit. Maybe we see if we could turn the temperature up. There's some controls.
Yeah. You can.
The life support guy. That's Mel.
Yeah, Mel can make a engineering life support plus education check to turn on the heat.
That's only if you want to, though. I mean, I'm not ordering you around or anything.
No, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a little chilly in here, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we kind of probably just want to watch and see if something starts happening as the temperature goes up. Right?
So Mel goes to attempts to turn up the heat, and there is evidently some kind of problem with the system. That it is.
Yeah, it's the system's problem. It's not mine.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just not doing it. Your guess is that the whatever the heating coils or whatever was used are probably burned out after all of these years. Bocephus, make a recon plus intellect check. Oh, he stepped away for just a
Kill it with fire.
moment. Oh my god, last night I don't know, I guess I was just bored. But I downloaded and reinstalled MechWarrior Online because I haven't played it for so long. And oh my god, there's so many new things in that game. Like rotary autocannons. Like, oh my god. That's fantastic.
Oh, sorry. Which game is this? Sorry.
MechWarrior Online.
Oh, nice.
I got a 7 on that recon you wanted.
Yeah, I
Okay.
never played around with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It reminds me a lot of back in the day playing MechWarrior 2. One of the fun things that me and my friends used to do. That it reminds me a lot of that, and it uses the Cry engine, so the graphics are pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, there's no heat that's going to be coming on in this in these domes. But you do see that there's another door leading out of here.
I guess we have to continue on. But
Yeah,
it sure wouldn't hurt to get a scan of these soil samples directly, and all that,
Yeah.
Yep. I'll do so. If I need to roll, I'll roll.
Yep, you can go ahead and make another electronic sensors plus intellect or education.
Yep, got a 10.
And Pappy and Mel, you can move your characters. So you're detecting more of this this new single-celled life form. Yeah, the soil you are detecting, and this is especially true of the trees. This is an dried up. It looks like it was a pond or a pool of some kind. It's completely dried up at this point. But you're detecting more of this these signs of a single-celled organism, like an amoeba. You're also detecting high acidity in the trees, in the soil, and everybody can roll another recon plus intellect check.
Oh, I'm just fascinated by the low temperatures.
My eyes are freezing.
Oh, happy.
So, Sarda, you find I guess it would be the shell of a dead Erline. Because remember, they're kind of like crab people. These guys. And you find the shell of one of these guys laying beneath one of the trees. And one thing that you note about it is that the shell is, it seems there's no meaty parts left whatsoever. And it's been here a long time. But you note that the shell seems to be pockmarked, like with melt points on it.
Well, that goes with the logs. They said friend computer came and took them by force.
It doesn't look like what would be done by a laser, though. It looks like almost like a liquid hit it.
Like, but much more violent than acid, or
You're guessing that it looks like acid, yeah.
oh, okay.
I would like to look around the room more thoroughly at this point.
Go ahead and make
Up, down, left, right.
Yeah, make an investigate plus intellect check.
There you are.
Okay. Well, that saves you from being surprised. So, Pappy, in this tree, coming kind of slopping down from limb to limb, and it seems like it's moving or attempting to move down this tree limb towards Sarda. You see something that looks like this.
Whoa.
Kill it with fire.
At the very least.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm carrying equipment wise.
You would be able. You can equip yourselves however you choose.
Pretty sure I didn't think the Marine would bring a flamethrower though.
Well, I mean,
Well, that's why I'm wondering. I mean, we had flame rifles. It's whether we thought to bring them.
we have that's part of our standard equipment, I thought. I mean, that's our prime mission is to kill the fucking entity whenever we find it, and flame is the most.
I mean, I would think
thing.
that one of you would probably have access to a flamethrower.
At least, yeah, I would think. I mean, all I've got is my sniper rifle.
Got laser.
No, okay, well, I've got the flame rifle then.
I don't even have a flame rifle in my inventory.
Yeah, they're not actually ship out. They were stuff we brought ourselves. The ship's got a different style.
Yeah, there is a flame rifle available.
Shout out. You might want to get away from that tree. Something coming down from it.
That'd be something we could breed with.
I don't think you want to breed with that thing.
Oh, stick your pole in it. I can clone you a new one.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
Oh man, I can make it move like a snake, or like the octopus hands of Dr. Octopus. Put a car alarm on that motherfucker, some Bluetooth,
Double penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the Install Arms IW-100 flame rifle that's available on the ship. But this requires heavy weapons to fire.
Right, that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's also bulky.
Yeah, it's a big flamethrower. I mean, magazine's only 10 though.
It's got the exact same stats as the flame rifle we have. The difference is that it doesn't require heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blast 3. It's 4.6. The one from the central supply has a magazine of 20. So
yeah, it's like better ammo.
It's like everything all the way around's better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one from Central Supply Catalog is just a better deal. I mean, it doesn't say that this requires heavy weapons, but it's on the same page as the plasma support weapons, so I can only assume that it would require.
Right.
They're considering it a heavy weapon, but it's those stats are not impressive to me compared to what's already in there.
Sure.
Okay, you're going AFK. So yeah, when Mel gets back, you guys have already done it. Pappy, you can roll initiative.
Initiative. What's initiative again? I forgot. It's been so long.
It's on the combat tab, but it's either a dex check or it's an int check, one or the other.
Yeah, your choice of either intellect or dexterity. 2d6 plus.
If you've got your mini targeted and you click the button on the combat tab, it'll update your. There you go.
I'm on the combat tab. Now,
Yeah, it's if you scroll down, it's like a grayish box. Yeah, there you go. Just pick the right stat, dex or int.
They're the same modifier.
Okay, well that makes things easy.
Yep. Did it work? It did work.
Mel, just a moment.
I have succeeded at life.
I believe this is just about the time that his significant other goes to bed or something.
Yeah.
And so he probably had to do something, receive some commandments.
Yes.
Thou shalt clean the poop from the kitchen. It'd be funny if he watches the video later and it really was that he had to clean poop in the kitchen.
I'm just gonna hope
I would hope not for his sake.
Right?
Yeah.
While we're waiting, have you ever read anything with the Traveler rules and found it anywhere? Anybody really? That like deals with radioactive mutations. Like, what kind of rabbit hole do they have with that built into the system?
Not much. It's a much more realistic take on radioactive. Radiation just will flat out kill you. I mean,
understand.
Lots of cancer.
Yeah, right, and the mutations are the cancer.
I get you, but I mean, it would be kind of cool if you got like a roll.
My
even
superpower is tumors.
Well, I'm not saying it had to be badass or anything, but it could be something that's just odd, like all of a sudden because you've caught all these rats, you're now growing an ear in the middle of your chest, and you need to pay to have your clothes altered or stuff.
They made that game. It's called Gamma World.
Yes, Gamma World. Well, we ran into that in Pirates of Drenax. There was that world with the Mad Max barbarians on it that you guys ran into. They had a lot of weird, fucked up traits.
Yeah.
Really low lifespans. Like 25 was considered old age.
Well, they could have something like that in character creation. Where you fuck around. Mom and dad fucking had a fucked up lifestyle and got ratted up, and it was really a miracle you were born at all. But
right,
you have some, you can breathe in water because they went back.
Your second head has a really snarky attitude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will weave him in when he comes back. So Sarda. Pappy points out this large amoeba. Well, I don't know if I would call it large. But this amoeba-like creature, kind of oozing down out of the tree. It is not moving quickly, but it is definitely moving towards you.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh,
hey, welcome back.
Yeah, want to roll initiative? 2d plus either dexterity.
Target your character first.
Yeah, 2d plus your initiative or intellect.
If you actually go to the combat tab, there's a button you can click to roll it.
I remember seeing it. Just need to find the damn thing. There it is.
Didn't even need to move.
Didn't even need to move, yes. So, anyways. So you see this thing kind of oozing down. It like I said, I wouldn't necessarily... It doesn't have the large trait.
Sure.
But it's much bigger than amoebas that you've seen through a microscope or, on news channels.
Right.
And there are these several of these pseudopods coming off of it that are moving in your direction.
Yeah, this is probably the wrong thing to do, but I will grab the flame rifle and fire it.
Okay. Yeah, light it up.
Oof.
Well, the tree's
It is
on
blast
fire.
3. It is blast 3, so...
Yes. So... And what's the range on that flame rifle?
10. So I'm not getting a bonus for...
Right. There we go. So it's about... Yeah, you're probably about right in that area. This whole tree kind of goes up. I mean...
Awesome.
And... I will say... it'll take half damage from the blast. So go ahead and roll half the damage.
So it'd be 9.
Okay.
And that's it for me. That's my turn.
And that causes it to kind of slop and fall out of the tree onto the ground. And there's little bits of fire on it, but it is not dead. You can move if you'd like.
I don't have the actions to move.
He aimed.
It's an action. No, it's an action to draw the weapon, right?
Oh, it's a minor action to draw the weapon, yeah.
And then I fired, and that's it.
Yep, you are correct. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
All right, I know it took some minimal damage, but did it look like the minimal damage have much effect on the thing, or is it still looking like it's okay?
It still seems like it's moving towards Sarda.
Okay, how heavy would you say this is in kilograms?
I don't know in kilograms, but it probably weighs about as much as an adult man, average. So probably about 180 pounds.
180 pounds. So that would be
an adult man, not me, but
right. Well, I mean, see, okay, my psi cost is in kilograms in telekinesis.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, so I mean, like if it's 100 kilos, which would be, you say it's 180, so it'd be like 90 kilos roughly, because 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, it would be like 81.6.
Okay, so I will use 9 psi points unless I mess this up. I have to get an average check, and I'm gonna try to lift it up in the air.
Okay,
that's what I'm gonna do
some fancy telekinetics. Use the force, Bocephus.
Fuck.
Well, you lift up one of its pseudopods.
Well, no, it doesn't take effect. I just lose a psi point for trying.
Yeah, you're only down 1 psi point at least.
Yeah.
Did you want to move it on?
Yeah, I'll need to back the fuck up and prepare to take. I think I'll go this way, away from the tree. There. Just moving a little bit over to the side so I can. I still need to be close because I got to do medical stuff to Sarda after I take his hazardous suit off.
Gotcha.
Here in the freezing cold, I think I can out medic the cold, Sarda.
Pappy, what would you like to do?
So far, the cold's not a problem. It's the alien creature approaching me.
Oh, I hear you, but I was like, after we kill this, I have to provide medical attention.
Alrighty, well, seeing as I'm carrying the laser rifle, there's no real pulling it out. I'm just been holding it the whole time.
Right. So you can move.
I will. I need to move to be able to shoot, huh? I don't have a line of sight on it.
Yeah, unless you want to shoot through Bocephus and Mel. They would probably have an issue with that.
Duck.
Right?
Whack.
I'll move to here then. That should give me a nice line of sight on it. Yeah, it does.
Yep.
And
gun combat,
laser weapon,
energy plus dexterity.
Oh, hell yeah.
Did that do what it was supposed to do?
It rolled a lot of dice. It looks like you.
It did
I rolled a
damage
9.
effect.
Yep, you rolled a
Yeah.
9 to hit.
Uh-huh.
So that's a +1 to damage. And 23
So
points.
23 plus 1, so 24.
Yeah. So Pappy moves up, and you hear the snap of a laser as the air molecules between Pappy and the amoeba they collapse. That's what creates the snapping sound. And this amoeba just kind of lights up into flame, and it shrinks down into an acidic, bubbling puddle.
I don't recommend you touch that.
Mm-mm.
It is no longer with us. Where would you guys like to go from here?
I guess we're going to continue on in because, that's not disturbing at all.
Take whatever samples Bocephus tells us to take.
Yeah, I do want to get
your jar of snot.
I do need to get a medical sample of this for my testing. So, I mean,
Okay.
if this is a new species, I got to see if I can get some DNA from this. So,
Sure.
I need to take a sample.
So
do you want me to roll something, or do you want me just to say I take the sample?
You can make a. You can make a science, biology plus intellect or education.
How about a 9?
So, you are taking your sample, and there's a couple of things that you realize. So this thing works very much along the lines of, like, say, amoebas and jellyfish. And essentially what you are, as you're taking the sample, the end of your spoon or whatever that you're using to pick up the snot is kind of smoking. And you realize that this thing not only, I mean, you already saw that it grew like pseudopods, but anything that would be enveloped by this thing would then be subject to this acid. And in game terms, what that means is that if it is successful on a grapple, it will move the target towards its central mass. Once inside, it excretes acid digestive enzymes that corrode, burning away 1 point of protection from armor every round, in addition to any damage that it does.
Wow, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
That is pretty brutal. Yeah. I don't know. Am I able to get a sample, or does it eat like even my really cool medical
No,
storage?
I would say that you would probably have I mean, do you have a science kit?
Yes.
So I would think that it would have glass beakers and sample collection, so that you can contain acidic materials.
Yeah, I really God, to have something like that is a rarity, So I want to get this and study it and think of it, maybe write a report on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You guys can move wherever you would like to go.
These would be great if you could like replicate a drop of them and put it in people's cod pieces.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we weaponize it.
Check this door out before opening it.
So, like the others, it's not locked. It's not a heavy door like the interior door. And you see that there is this hallway that splits. Down here, there's no door. It just goes into a large bay, and you can hear the sound of like machinery that's working down there. The machinery sounds like it's a little louder than it should be. Like there's some grinding going on. But then this hallway also kind of hangs a right up here towards the north.
I kind of feel like we should check out the south first, but I want to poke my head around the corner to make sure we're not getting snuck up on.
Okay.
And I'll be here watching down this towards this area.
But yeah, let's go to the south. I just want to make sure that nothing's round in the corner on.
Well, we're clearing a path. I'm just watching to the south.
So assuming that hallway was empty, I'll head back.
Yeah,
south.
it is empty.
Yeah, I assumed it would be, yeah.
All right, then, yeah. Let's go down here to where the water treatment plant is and other furnitures and stuff. I'll come all the way down to here. We're just
What about
doing willy-nilly.
Pappy and Mel? Where would you guys like to go?
I will go with them, keep a little bit of distance.
Okay.
With my rifle, my laser rifle, just like, I don't want to see no more amoebas today. I guess since they're walking forward, I'll kind of do like a look back as we walk kind of thing.
Check the 6.
Yep.
Okay. So this
I have
room,
tactics.
the first thing that stands out, I mean, obviously this room looks like it is essentially engineering kind of area. This is a part of the fuel system where this is the primary component that feeds the rest of the processors in this colony with their air, one of the byproducts of cracking water. And but aside from this large tank of bubbling, it's a clear tank, and you can see that it is bubbling hydrogen. This is part of the fuel system of the base. Aside from this, you see that this screen on the wall is just busted. It is shot to shit. Laser fire. Obvious laser fire.
And the machine noise we heard is probably this machine cracking and all that shit.
Yes, and it does not sound like it. I mean, just from hearing it, you know that that's not how this is supposed to sound. Your fuel processors certainly don't sound like that. Sounds like it is. It's been running for a long time and is in need of some WD-40.
You think we should shut it down?
I mean, we might as well give it some love while we're here. I'm worried more about it building the spaceship.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, this facility is pretty amazing, and what it's producing could be useful if it was turned over to, someone who could make use of it. I mean, it's building spacefaring ships.
Well, yeah, that's the
this
shipyard.
This colony is not building space. That's the shipyard that's in the asteroid belt. But
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, we're able to find out more information about it.
Yeah. But I think we should take some time to do some engineering.
Yeah, I'm all for making mechanical repairs.
Sure.
But if we find out kind of what this base is doing, we might want to shut it down or reprogram it. But if there's something faulty at work, let's fix what's faulty and then deal with what it's actually doing.
So
if we manipulate things as we push forward, and it could cause a strain on the system to hurt us too. I mean, so getting a good checkup is probably a smart idea.
So who's going to want to make mechanics plus intellect or education check?
I've got a 2, but I'm happy to allow somebody else who has a better role. Such as
guard while all this.
Our highly educated member of our crew.
I have a 1 in mechanics, so that ain't me.
To add your education to it, that would add, or.
I'm not the educated one.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's Mal that.
Well, show off your big brain.
Assuming Mel's actually trained in mechanic, he may not be.
Yeah.
I am.
All right. Well, you're going to be the best mechanic in the group then.
You'd think the pilot would be better at this.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has a 15 in education. I mean, it's pretty hard. That means any role that adds education, he's at +3 right there.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, and so unless he's not trained, I mean, he's pretty much going to be the best crew member for everything.
Must be nice being so smart.
So Mel, go ahead and make a mechanic plus education check.
Nice.
Excellent.
That
So
can't be.
you're looking at about 6 hours worth of work.
It's not right. Yeah, he unless you're not trained in mechanic. If you're not trained in it, then it would be -3 plus your +3.
I am not trained in mechanics.
So
right,
it's
well.
just a raw roll. That's still a good roll, though. So, yeah, you're looking at about 6 hours worth of work here. Probably could be cut in half if somebody was trained in mechanic and assisting you.
I'm definitely trained.
So if the two of you are working on it, you can probably cut it down to about 3 hours. Essentially, you're just basically just shutting it down, taking parts out, cleaning it, putting it back together. It doesn't look like I mean, in a perfect world, you would be replacing a lot of these parts, but you don't have
Right.
You don't have the spares.
We're cleaning the filters and reusing them rather than
Right, and
replacing them.
so you guys have about 3 hours while they're working on this. What is Bocephus and Pappy doing?
Do you guys want to? We can make sure the rest is safe, right? Yeah. If it's gonna be 6 hours of work, let's bless the place out.
Sounds fun. Yeah. Well, then I'll be
Before we
heading
go
up
again
around
6
here.
more hours into labor, let's make sure nothing creeps up on us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Make sure there's no hounds of Tindalos waiting for us.
so is Mel going with the rest of the party and coming back to this, or
I think I should. We're talking about hours.
yeah?
Maybe I should keep working on it
Okay,
so as not to delay.
sure, okay. So you guys, the rest of you, come up here and you round this corner. There is another one of these doors at the end of the hallway, and then the hallway swings to the right again. It goes down to another one of these hydroponics living areas.
We need to clear it to make sure it doesn't have any of the amoeba creatures in there. Right?
I'll scan for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now you know what you're scanning for.
like before, you are picking up traces of these things all throughout this area.
All right. Well, let's deal with whatever's down to the south, and then come open the door.
So the three of you go ahead and roll a roll recon plus intellect check.
6. Fuck this.
Okay. So you guys, so Sarda and Pappy, you see a familiar sight in here. It is... Oh. Like, why am I not finding this? Oh, yeah, because it's in another book. But I didn't open because I didn't think I was going to need it. There he is. So in here, you see that there is a one of those robotic mobile units that you fought on the Citadel, but it looks badly damaged, beat up, burned. Looks like it's been hit by laser fire, and it is just kind of crumpled here on the floor, kind of beneath the limbs of this dead tree.
I wonder if these things were dependent on trees for it. It seems weird that this. I'm not understanding what this facility would have been for at all. Just such a weird. It's almost like a zoo or something.
These things.
Post that got turned into a living post.
Yeah. They got forcefully removed from here. They were probably living here. Maybe these things are.
But this is not big enough to. I mean, these are huge rooms. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's still not enough. It wouldn't be enough people, enough creatures, to be an actual. Yeah, it just is something's not adding up. Hopefully, we can get into their computers and see what's going on. Let's go up here and open this door.
Okay, so you guys head up there and open that door. Mel, make a recon plus intellect check.
Yeah, you never split the party.
Okay, so Mel, while you are working on the system, one of the reasons that the system is having so many problems is that there is one of these amoeba things living in the filters.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I don't have a flame rifle.
So everybody can roll initiative. Got a good initiative.
Damn it. Where's my damn token?
Oof.
Okay.
Operate. Ugh. Where are you, Pappy? Oh, there you are right there. Let's try this again.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's rough. Huh. All right. So, Mel, you see this thing start oozing out and coming towards you with its pseudopods as it's coming out of the machinery. What would you like to do?
Haul ass towards the party.
You have comms and shit too.
Yeah.
That's true. Thinking a little more D&D-ish. I get that. Okay. Okay. So I radio. Got a giant amoeba thing. What is that? 3 yards away? 6 yards away?
Yeah.
12 yards.
About
You got this, right? You're good.
4.5 meters.
4.5 meters away. And I've got a Gauss submachine gun.
Hey, I mean, that.
Guess I'll light it up.
Yeah, I mean that'll work. Are you going to? So then the question is: are you going to do a single shot, burst, or rock and roll?
I'm gonna open the fuck up.
Okay,
That's what
full auto. You get three rolls, 3 attacks rather.
Sorry, I squeezed down my screen to get more map realism.
I imagine the Gauss submachine gun probably isn't that bad because Gauss rifles are only like 4mm. But I remember my buddy had a pre-ban 38 caliber Mac 10. You couldn't hit shit with that thing. Like, you'd pull the trigger and it was all over the place. It was just retarded. It was just everywhere. First is a miss. Second is a miss. Third one is a hit. Ouch. But in your full auto with those 2 misses, the machinery takes some damage from stray fire. You're not sure to what extent, but one of
I'm
these
sure I've got a tube of epoxy.
one of these fans is no longer turning. The amoeba thing slops out and moves toward you, and that's as far as it can move. So Bocephus, the 3 of you are standing outside this door. You can hear the telltale sound of Gauss auto fire going off down the hall. And of course, Mel radioed you that he's got amoeba problems.
What's a normal move? What do we?
So you can move 6 meters with
All right, so it's 4 squares.
Yeah, with a minor action.
Got it.
But you can go 18 total.
Right, you do 3 minor actions. Yeah, 3
Yeah.
minor actions. Yeah, I was just trying to figure. I couldn't remember how many squares it was.
Well, yeah, I'm headed that way.
Okay. Sarda, what are you wanting to do?
I'm in the same boat. I'm headed that way as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it'd be 18 if you use all 3. All 3 minor actions.
18 meters. 18.
Yeah, 18 meters.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So each hex is 1.5 meters.
Got it. So that puts me basically here.
But you can right click, Brian, to make the dot.
I tried, but I'm using my touchpad and they didn't want to play along.
Oh yeah, I had that problem too, man.
Yeah, I will tell you, Roll20 is the reason why I bought a cordless mouse for my tablet.
I'll be honest with you. I actually prefer playing it now in Discord because I tend to use Opera, and Opera has a really annoying habit of whenever you right click in Roll20, it will exit out of Roll20.
Oh, shit.
Needless to say, you need to right click quite often just to move around the map, and so I'll find myself just constantly disconnecting from Roll20. But it doesn't have that problem in here in Discord because it's not Opera.
Right. Okay. That was happy. Mel.
These rounds go fast and we're just running like crazy.
Right? Yeah, you guys are just booking it.
So I can only do a single attack if I do a minor action.
I suggest backing up.
Well, I mean, if you can do a full auto attack with a single action, with a full action, and still get minor action. But if
what's it auto? It's auto 2 or auto 3?
Yeah, what is
auto 4?
Auto 4.
So that means with one action, you take 4 attacks.
Yeah,
and then you could run. With the last.
So Mel, go ahead and make one more attack with your, because you only did 3. There's that's another myth.
So how many rounds do I use per shot? Per
The
first 4?
It's like double the auto rating.
It is.
Plus.
Yeah, we look. I thought it was like 3 times the auto score, so you would use 12 rounds on full auto.
12.
I think. It's it's weapon traits. Here we go. Full auto makes a number of attacks equal to the auto score. These attacks can be made at a separate target so long as they are all within 6 meters of one another. Full auto uses a number of rounds equal to 3 times the auto score. So yeah, you would use 12 rounds.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move. This thing moved. Minor action. I can move. How many meters?
6, which is 4 squares.
4 of the hexes. Yeah.
Just to be able to move that fast. I'm gonna open it up again. I can do this. This is the last time I'll be able to do it without having to do a mag change.
Okay.
And you were in short range, so you should be getting +1 for being.
Yes.
That wouldn't help those 5s, but I'll try.
Yeah, but I mean, it factors in.
It's another miss. That's a hit for 12, and so that you unload on it, and it kind of slops into a puddle on the ground.
It's just flechettes everywhere.
Yeah, screwdriver heads all over the place, which is part of the reason why this machinery is no longer functioning.
We fixed it.
Yeah, he fixed it all right.
He fixed it permanently.
I'm sure we have some epoxy and some shim. This will be fine.
Yeah, you can make a. I mean, there's this console and basically workstation here. You can make a investigate plus intellect check to try and scrounge up spares.
Intellect plus which one was that again?
Investigate plus intellect.
So I'm assuming we all kind of get there and see that.
Yes, yeah. You guys come down just in time to watch him turn another amoeba into a puddle.
What'd you call for help for anyway if you had it under control?
I wasn't convinced that semi-automatic rounds were going to take care of some goo.
Yeah.
Just say you wanted Pappy's laser gun to help. Just say that.
Laser beams, pew, pew, pew.
So, yeah, you do find some spares, but because of the damage, well, I guess it's not that bad. It will add another hour to the repair time. So where would you guys like? What would you like to do at this point?
Let's go check out that last room. I mean, we don't know it's the last room, but let's check out that door.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw a map, so
Yeah, yeah. Bocephus found the map. He would know that this is the last door. So this room, this room looks like a med bay. There's a large medical table in the middle of the room. There's an auto dock kind of thing over on one wall. So the auto dock is very peculiar because it is kind of the arms on it are set up very similar to the way the Erline are set up. And then you have a workstation here and a lab table over on this wall.
Need to go look and see if I can tell, if they have samples or anything on any of the sicknesses that were from the planet.
Go ahead and make a computer plus intellect or education.
That's 10.
So yes, there are the logs are about 300 years old again, but they are noting the physician or colony doctor is noting that so tonality is very difficult to discern when reading text, but the essentially the feeling that you get reading this is that the doctor himself is going through a kind of depression, and the types of illnesses that are being seen are all pretty much self-imposed, like destructive behaviors, and essentially the people that are dying of these are essentially just not doing anything to cure it or to stop it. I mean, essentially they're like drinking themselves to death or whatever. And there's a number of these that are noted, and the doctor even makes the comment that essentially nobody in the colony no longer has any purpose. Essentially, it's saying that the Citadel is doing everything for them now. Okay.
You just exist.
Right.
Yeah. It's got to be something to do with their culture. I mean, they just waste away and go crazy in depression because they don't have anything to do. Let's go to the beginning of the doctor's logs and see what he's saying about why they came here or anything like that.
So the beginning of the logs basically shows that, and I mean, this particular physician, essentially it states that this was just the base didn't really have. It was a research. I mean, of course they did research and whatnot, planetary research, basically exploration type stuff. But really, this colony was set up to prove that the Erline were capable of living on other worlds. And it seems that at the beginning, this colony was quite successful. They had proven that was the case.
Huh.
I mean, it would be the same thing as like, if we set up a colony on the moon or on Mars. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
but then I guess part of the depression could be on if their main world got destroyed while they were here.
right.
I guess can I find that? Can I find that part in his logs?
Yeah.
So when the
Yeah,
colony started being bombarded.
Yeah, they the logs show that and of course this is from a different doctor, but there's hundreds of logs in here. But going back far enough, you can show or you can see where this colony was active when they essentially they didn't get to witness it, but they lost contact with the homeworld. And it also states that not only did they lose contact with the homeworld, but when they attempted to send a ship to the homeworld for supplies and communications, that ship never returned either. And it wasn't until later, much later, that the Citadel informed them that sent them a report of what had happened.
And that said they bombarded the place.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no mention of these amoeba creatures whatsoever. Huh?
There is. It seems that it is a naturally occurring life form on this world, and they were studying it. There are a number of. They believe there are a number of applications for biochemicals that these things could be harvested from, but it does state that they are somewhat aggressive. They will eat basically any organic matter that they go over. It also states that they are one of their main living spaces was in the actual the ground water table. Is where these things really thrive.
So basically, when they set up their poster, they mess with the natural habitat.
Right.
Man, I really want to get one of these creatures and capture it and take it back. Well, I mean, man, if we could deposit these things and if they have, you know, the ability to live, you know, in different, they eat all the, maybe they would eat the entity and the acid would kill it. And, you know, it could be like and especially if they can hunt down the organic matter. You know, do they hunt down organic matter of all types?
It says that they. Here they are. They're able to cling to walls and the underside of ceilings, causeways. They can swim in water. Essentially, they will be drawn by movement and heat. But they essentially just slide across the ground, digesting anything that's biological.
So they don't necessarily hunt. They survive on just random encounters.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also states that thankfully they are really slow.
Yeah.
They can only move 2 meters per minor action.
Well, that gave us some information. Stopping here was a good idea.
It gave us a lot of information.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to stay here or not anymore. These amoeba things are all in the water and everywhere. We're not going to get them all, but I mean, it would take some massive modifications to make them, you know, a worthy weapon against the entity. And we don't even know if their acid can overpower that, but their real acidic nature is definitely interesting.
Yeah, they tend to. I mean, they could cause a real bad day for anybody who's wearing armor or, God forbid, a vac suit.
I mean, what is my medical opinion on what would the acid eat the fungus?
Well, I mean,
Could they get infected by it?
You're not sure. You're not sure if the acid would countermand the entity. You'd have to get samples of the entity, which is dangerous in and of itself.
Yeah.
Assuming that you were to run across the entity again, you would have to get samples and test it. Otherwise, just releasing one into a new biome, which there's implications for that too, because now if you release this on another planet, I mean, you might be creating a bigger problem for that world than than what you're attempting to solve. You know what I mean?
Well, at least it's somewhat contained on the world, unless some random space fish picks them up and takes them other places.
Right.
Whereas the entity, God, it's just nasty, and its core nature is to try to get the fuck off the planet and go get other planets.
Right.
So I got to think the amoeba's the lesser of the two evils, but
yeah, true. So we
Yeah.
will go ahead and break here for tonight, and we will pick this up next week at 6:00.
Sweet.
All
All right, man.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night,
Cool.
guys. I will see you next week, and I will see
All right,
Brian
take
and
care.
Wes
Tomorrow.
yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Have a
Have a
good
good
one.
one.
Good night.
I was informed that I'm apparently going to a concert next Friday.